Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Exodus, the 38th chapter, in which the tabernacle and the work is finally completed. And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same, and he overlaid it with brass. So the horns were made of the same block that was used for the actual altar. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans, and all the vessels thereof made he of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof, beneath onto the midst of it. And like I said, we went through this, when the Lord was giving the instructions to Moses, with the imagery and all of that. So if you haven't seen that, you can go and take a look there for more of a visual of what this would have looked like in the design and the pattern. Verse 5, and he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass to be places for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the laver of brass, and the foot of it of brass. And the laver was what would hold the water. Of the looking glasses, i.e. mirrors, of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Now I'll read this in the NLT as well, just to make it a bit clearer. It says, Bezaleel made the bronze wash basin and its bronze stand from the bronze mirrors donated by the women who served at the entrance of the tabernacle. And he made the court on the south side southward. The hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits, and the court was, that surrounding area, right? You had the tabernacle in the middle, you had the laver, you had the altar of burnt, offerings or sacrifice, and then you had the court, all that was within the court. Their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side, the hangings were 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their sockets of brass 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side eastward 50 cubits. The hangings of the one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and on that hand, were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen. And the sockets for the pillars were of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters of silver, and all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the court, or for the gate of the court, was needlework. So it was, woven together, or sewn together of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height in the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. Answerable meaning it was identical to or corresponding to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters, and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony. So this was the total cost, right, of what it took to actually build or make all this. As it was counted according to the commandment of Moses, for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aaron the priest. So Moses commanded them to basically give an account of the cost. And Bezaleel the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses. Now, obviously, it wasn't just him, but he was the head, right, the one who led it. And with him was Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue and in purple and in scarlet and fine linen. All the gold that was occupied for the work in all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, which the children of Israel did bring, was 29 talents and 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. So that's a lot of gold. And that shekel of the sanctuary is, the weight that they would use to, there's a certain weight they would use to determine what is the shekel of the sanctuary, like, so to speak, right? So remember back then, they had the shekels, which is kind of like a coin, or even a measurement, right? If we go into that word shekel, it'll show you. Let's see here. A shekel, the chief unit of weight or measure. So there was a specific weight used for the shekels of the sanctuary, and that's what it was measured according to, right? So when it mentions the shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary, it's after the weight of the sanctuary shekel, you could say. And the silver of them that were numbered of the congregation was 100 talents and that's a lot. That's a lot. Go and look up how much we've gone. I mean, I've pulled this up many times, but when you go into a talent and how much it was a lot. It's very, very heavy. So 100 talents is a lot. And 1,703 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A bekah for every man, and the equivalent of that is half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for the 600,000 and 3,550 men. That's 603,550 men. And remember, the Lord mentioned to Moses that when he would number them, that they were all supposed to give an offering, you could say, right? That there be no plague among them. And that was basically according to the sanctuary shekel. I believe it was a shekel or so that they had to give. So it says here, verse 27, and of the 100 talents of silver were cast. So of that they used to make the sockets of the sanctuary and the sockets of the veil, 100 sockets of the 100 talents, a talent for a socket. Damn. And of the 775 shekels, he made hooks for the pillars and overlaid their chapiters and filleted them. So they were actually using the gold and the silver to build some of the parts of the sanctuary. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it. And that brazen altar was the one used for the burnt offerings or the sacrifices, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gate. And the sockets were that bottom piece that you would place the pillars in, or the pegs of the pillars. And the sockets of the court gate, and all the pins, right, there you go, the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. And that brings us to the end of the book of Exodus, the 38th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.